Oh, recording is in progress. As you can see, I dressed up for the occasion.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I didn't know it was black tie. I would have
It's actually
just
white bathrobe.
okay.
So yesterday I had rewind therapy. And one of the things, it's imagery, and one of the parts is you have to think of a good experience in your life where you felt really good. And then you go visit the negative experiences, and then you rewind back to the positive experience
Interesting.
and come out. But my positive experience is the time we were playing with the band in the Rogues Inn. And I thought I'd try and, you seem to recall more details than I do. I always get the song wrong. I always think it's Lost Outcome. Yeah.
Hey, I gotta clean my glasses. Can you wait? Can you give me 1 sec?
Ah, no problem. I'll clean my glasses too.
All right.
Okay, so it was that song that we played. And do you remember what year it was? Would it be like
Well,
71 or 72?
I know what year it wouldn't have been.
Okay.
One eternity later.
And I'm gonna guess 73 because we were more mature players.
Yeah. The moment I'm referring to is we had practiced the song at the studio quite a bit, and it was one that we had written.
Mm-hmm.
And then we played it for the first time at the Rogues Inn. And when we finished the song, there was this silence. And then everybody started applauding.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yes, I do. Very memorable.
Yeah. What was the song we were playing? Do you remember?
Now you said you thought it was Lost Al Calling. I thought it was occlusion.
Could be occlusion. Now, did Brett play the flute?
I have a pretty strong memory of it being occlusion.
Okay. That's cool. I don't remember that song as well as I remember Lost Out Calling for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But as I remember, Brett did play his flute on that, and that was part of the maybe shock value that got the audience's attention. I'm not sure.
Well, it was we were performed at we were all in flow,
Yeah.
and that doesn't really happen very often when four guys are in flow.
Yeah. No, I know we had rehearsed well, we were tight on it. And I realized when I was kind of remembering those moments that in a way we put the audience into a trance.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just silent. And the silence was actually the most beautiful part.
Mm-hmm.
The plot, it was during that period was an anticipation of what was going to happen next. And that causes a dopamine hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I think I felt a euphoric kind of high. And then when they applauded, then it was like the release. I mean, it was actually occurred prior to the audience's applause.
There were guys at the bar who got up off their stools and stood up.
Yeah. It was a remarkable experience. It felt almost cosmic. It was like an altered state of consciousness.
Well, I mean, it transformed me. It was transformative for me.
That moment is apparently key at the moment right now in this healing process that I'm going through, and it's quite powerful.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if I can elaborate, since we're on tape,
Yeah.
For me, that was one of the moments where I realized that I wanted to create an altered state with my art. So, I mean, cipher is an example of that, and my best paintings, I hope, I don't know, are examples of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the high bar that I've been trying to hit for my whole career.
Yeah.
I mean, I realized I couldn't really do it with illustration because I was I was executing someone else's vision,
Mhm.
but with my own personal vision, that's always been the bar.
And one of the things I realized why I'm not having those kind of experiences is I'm denying myself by right now I'm trying to produce videos with all free assets. Well, why don't I break loose a little money and use tools that would be like basically each AI tool would be like an assistant in a way. You can do AI writing, you can do AI voice,
Hmm.
you can do AI music, you can do AI images,
Yeah.
and each of those
Well,
is like an assistant.
mhm.
But I'm not paying. I there are better services that are paid services. And if
Yeah.
I would go there, it would really step up my game. And I might actually have an experience where I go, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be that you actually need the mental stimulation of trying to do things with almost next to nothing.
Yeah, to do it the hard way.
Yeah, but I think maybe it would be more productive to find some other aspect of your project that would stimulate you in the same way and kind of cut loose with that,
Yeah, right. I'm thinking along the same lines. Now, part of what gave me this thought, this is kind of weird, but so Brody made me a bass guitar with a 3D printer.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't know if I showed it to you.
Yeah, yeah, I saw you sent me a
A
picture of
picture.
it. It's
Yeah.
cool. Well, I imagine something much more primitive. It's quite nice, it looks
Yeah.
like.
But on the neck, um, and about the middle of the neck, it's a half step off. That's one whole fret off.
Because of the band and the
So when I've jammed with Josh, uh, I'm not in tune. I can't play in tune. I have to actually move up a fret, and it's very hard because the patterns I'm used to playing on the bass don't work.
right. That would be
And so I then decided, okay, if I'm going to play with Josh, I want to play it with a good bass that's in tune. And I had bought a bass, and I was going to sell it because Brody had made this one. But I got it back, um, and I played on it, and it was like a light bulb turned on for me that I'm playing with a guitar that's a fret off when I'm
mhm.
trying to make art,
Yeah,
or storytelling. And
right.
why not do it right? For a few $100s, I got a bass that would be in tune with other guys.
Hmm.
So there's kind of a metaphor there that helped me realize that I've come to a point where I'm not improving because I've done everything I can do with free stuff.
Right.
To up the game, to get better voice quality and that kind of stuff, it's time to shell out a few bucks.
Yeah.
So,
So how does that relate to the band experience?
well, that was a peak experience never to be duplicated so far in my
No.
life. And it may never be, not exactly the same. But the goal would be to quit doing art as a puzzle and to try and create an effect, an aesthetic.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know,
Right, right. Well, I mean, for me, the journey that sparked was the artistic moment as a moment of transcendence.
yeah, it was a moment of transcendence. Yeah, and I think other people can feel that. Remember the time you were telling me about the woman that saw your painting and was weeping, and you
Mhm.
knew she was having an altered state of consciousness.
Right.
It's like you were able to transfer that to her when we couldn't have had the experience without the audience when we played.
Hmm.
We could have been practicing that and it would not have felt the same. The euphoric
Right.
moment would not have been there. And that's because of that anticipation. Will they like it?
Hmm.
And there's that pause at there, and it's like, okay, this is it. And then they burst into applause, and then it's like, this release of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember, and I don't remember this specifically with this song, but I remember Brett, he was kind of our band leader, right?
He was the musical leader.
Yeah. 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 I mean, yeah, he was kind of, well, like the
I
conductor.
was I was the business leader.
Right. Yeah. But he would turn around and like he'd maybe count to four or something like that, you know, and give us the upbeat or whatever.
Right.
And I don't, like I say, I don't remember this in the specific song, but I remember seeing on his face, like, okay, guys, let's really give it our best. Or, you know, I mean, I could see this kind of anticipatory expectation,
Yeah,
you
like an
know.
Olympic athlete that's getting ready to launch down the ski slope. It's like, okay,
Right. And so, you know, I don't remember, I don't remember you or Gerald ever doing the countdown to start the song off. So, I mean, I have to say that
oh,
Brett was
yeah,
kind of the conductor or the band leader of,
yeah, Brett always did. Yep.
yeah. And I remember seeing on his face, that emotion of wanting to do our best, you know.
Mhm.
And I think in that particular moment, we actually did do our best.
And we had rehearsed it quite a bit. We didn't want to play it until we felt it was ready.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's interesting that we have kind of, I mean, our memories have captured certain aspects that the other person didn't.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to you about it.
Mhm.
So I appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna go off the air here on the recording.